Hi, and I welcome you to this video on CRUD versus REST. There is always a confusion exists between CRUD and REST due to the fact that there is a certain level of overlap between them. In this video, I will talk about difference between CRUD and REST and the scope of these two in API industry. The main difference between these two is that CRUD is just an acronym of four basic operations that can be performed on database, and those operations are create, read, update, and delete. On the other hand, REST is a popular design style for developing web APIs that can be consumed by other applications. Yes, the difference is phenomenal. REST is much more than CRUD. Still, engineers confuse between REST and CRUD because of the similarity in four basic CRUD operations and popular HTTP protocols like get, put, post, and delete, which are used by REST. Let's have a look at the similarity now. In CRUD, create is used for creating a new record in your database, and in REST, we use put or post to create a new resource. In CRUD, we use read to fetch database record. In REST, we use get to fetch a resource. In CRUD, we use update to update or modify a record in database. Similarly, in REST, we use put or post to modify a resource based on the requirement. Similarly, in CRUD, we use delete to delete a database record. In REST, we use delete method to delete a resource. As you can see here, the underlying functionality is almost same for both CRUD and REST, but the difference is lying in where these functionalities are done. CRUD operations are done only at database level, whereas the scope of REST is broad. We are using REST to design web API to support the application on its functionalities. Let's talk about this with an example. Consider you are developing a web application to sell and manage insurance for customers. Here the list of functionality expected from the web application is customers should be able to browse the available insurance plans and prices, and the customer should be able to buy appropriate insurance plan, and upon expiry customer should be able to renew his insurance. Finally, customer should be able to terminate his insurance if required. At the back end, we will have a bunch of RESTful microservices to provide data required by the web application. And for persistence of data, the application will be using a MySQL database to store the data related to customers and insurance plans. Microservices will be exposing REST API for web application to consume based on the functionality user wants to perform. For example, in this use case, when the user tries to browse through the available insurance plans, a REST API with get method will be invoked to get the details from the information service. And the information service will in turn implement the read operation from CRUD to retrieve the data from MySQL database. Here notice that REST get method is mapped to CRUD read method. In fact, REST acts as an interface to CRUD for retrieving the data from database. The scope of REST will end once the request reaches the microservice and the body of the request is processed. From there on, CRUD operations are used to deal with database. Similarly, if the application has to create, update, or delete the data based on the business logic, appropriate REST API will be involved to microservices, and the mapped CRUD operation will be used to create, read, update, or delete data in database. To summarize, REST and CRUD has its own boundary in an application architecture. Both REST and CRUD will be mapped appropriately to build a scalable and reliable application. I hope now you got a better understanding on difference and scope of REST and CRUD. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button so that you will get a notification when I post my next video. Thanks for watching this video, and let's meet in my next video.